We are gaining some confidence that it was a thermal problem rather than some other nature, rather than a structural indicator. But it, again, is too early for me to speculate on what all that means. And so I just request your indulgence as we continue to gather information. Just the difference between yesterday at this time and today has been significant. And I believe another 24 hours will be even more helpful. So as I continue to meet with you, I will give you the best information I have available to me and keep you informed. But I don't have any smoking gun. I don't have anything that I can tell you is the root cause. Certainly, you've heard us talk, and you can make your own judgments and speculate, but I'd caution you about that speculation. We do have teams that are heavily concentrating on the orbiter wing. We have other teams that are looking very carefully at the external tank foam insulation, just as we have engineering teams looking at all the other subsystems. We believe some subsystems will be ruled out as a cause fairly soon. Others will stay in our base that we're looking at for a longer time. And I'll keep you informed of which ones are the major subsystems that continue to be in our job jar as being more interesting to us from a root cause point of view than others.
Phil Long, Miami Herald. Ron, where is the debris being taken now for staging, and where do you anticipate that it will be taken ultimately for analysis?
Our staging area will be the Barksdale Air Force Base in Shreveport, and its ultimate location, we haven't made a decision yet. We just know this first staging point will be our primary contact for this debris.
Elliot Kleinberg, Palm Beach Post. Money issues aside, is there anything out there that you've been researching that might eventually make a better material than the tiles themselves, taking into consideration weight and the cost of the material?
Well, we are continually searching to see if there exists the right development of technology such that it has an application for this vehicle. We'll continue to search and investigate resources, whether it be the tile or other subsystems, such that it can improve the safety and reliability of this vehicle. I think that we have mentioned to you that it is our intent to fly this vehicle system for many years into the future. And so we are investing in the right technologies and searching for other technologies that would be of benefit to us. So the tile system is one, and there are others that are equally, if not more important. So this is just one area of many that we are investigating.
Okay, excuse me, that's all the questions at the Kennedy Space Center. Let's move to NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C., please.
Simona Chatterjee with Knight Ridder Newspapers. About the post-launch review process, which engineering and technical teams and divisions were involved, and was their conclusion unanimous that the debris impact did not pose a safety hazard, or was there dissension?
Let's see, let me make sure I understand. You're talking about the external tank debris during ascent?
Yes.
The predominant team will be the engineering teams related to the orbiter vehicle itself. And the types of disciplines are structures and mechanics, integration teams that understand the environment and the transport mechanisms between the external tank and the wing of the orbiter. You have thermal experts, tile experts, and it goes on and on. We also engage the external tank technical experts and the management of all the above. Whenever we do an analysis of this type, not only do we engage the technical experts of all the disciplines and their management, but we also engage the operational and functional areas, the astronaut corps, our operations flight control arenas, our safety and quality and mission assurance experts. And all these people were engaged. All of them heard the story. All of them reviewed it to their satisfaction, and the consensus, unanimous consensus, was that it was, as I represented to you earlier, it was not a significant event.
This is Frank Mooring with Aviation Week. Ron, you mentioned earlier that the temperatures in the cryo tanks were nominal. Have you completely ruled out the cargo bay and the space head modules as any source of thermal problems?
We haven't ruled out anything up to this point. I share that information with you because that's the information that I have to look at myself. It does indicate that one data point shows that on the inside of the payload bay, there does not appear to be an increasing thermal environment, whereas on the left side of the vehicle, it was increasing. We're still gathering more information, but with that one piece of information, which is all we have today, it seems to indicate that the payload bay is not the area of focus. Have we ruled that out? No, we haven't. I'm sharing you that information to help you go along with us as we try to decipher the evidence and try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We haven't ruled out anything. We're still looking. It's just information that both you and I and our teams need to understand more fully in the future.
Andrew Lawler from Science Magazine. Were there any other research missions planned for Columbia, and have there been current discussions about mothballing Columbia?
At this point, I believe it's academic to talk about Columbia.
Do we have any other questions in headquarters?
Were there discussions in the past, though, about it recently, and were there research missions planned?
There were missions, if I understood your question right, and perhaps I didn't. There were missions that were planned on Columbia in the future. That is correct, if that's the question you're asking me. We had two missions in the future. One mission slated to go to the International Space Station in the latter part of this year, and another mission to service the Hubble Space Telescope in November of 2004. And because of the loss of this vehicle, that will impact the planning of those particular missions, and we'll have to go back and understand just what the options are going to be. And I'm sorry if I misunderstood your question.
Okay, that's all at headquarters. Let's go to the Marshall Space Flight Center for questions now, please.
This is Shelby Spires with the Huntsville Times. Ron, can you elaborate on the support you're getting in terms of engineering and document support from United Space Alliance and other contractors for the shuttle? Are they participating in this investigation, and are you satisfied with that participation today?
We're getting help from all of our prime contractors. We're getting help from all of our field centers, all their technical experts, both on the public and private sector. And we're not wanting for anything at this point. We're very pleased with the outpouring of support from both public and private and academia, and we appreciate all offers for advice and help. And we are consulting with those that offer their help and to determine if that particular expertise is something that we need to add to our team.
Kent Falk, Birmingham News. What kinds of information are you collecting or have collected from Marshall, and does it include information about the launch and accident?
Let's see, from Marshall, predominantly, we are asking them to look at their subsystems, the major subsystems being the main engine, the solid rocket motor, the solid rocket booster, or the booster system that attaches to the motor, and then the external tank. They are looking at all those major subsystems as methodically as we are looking at the orbiter here in Houston and other parts of the country, and we're pulling everything together as one team, and we will evaluate each of the major subsystems and try to determine if there is anything within that subsystem that would have contributed to the loss of Columbia. When we are sure that there is no information there that leads us to believe that that subsystem should be under suspicion, then we will declare that not to be a root cause, and we will wrap that particular activity up and concentrate on those that are still in our pool of information, pool of discussion.